Welcome back, family. So, there seemed to be some traction in the murder investigation of Tupac Shakur. This 27 years after his death. Now, came as a surprise to me because I thought that cops had known who killed Tupac at least 15 years ago. Keefe-D, whose house was raided this week, some of his items were retrieved. A computer, some phones, things of that nature to gather evidence. But why is that necessary if he's already confessed to this? A number of years ago, I can't say specifically, I think it was 2006, he was arrested and charged with some serious offenses, including drug dealing, murders, racketeering, all of that. He offered up to confess to what happened the night Tupac was killed in order to beat those charges, and I guess the prosecutor took his offer and he's been released, been on several different platforms recounting the same story of what happened that night Tupac was killed. I've heard this many times. He and 3 other members of a Crips gang were in a car, saw Tupac, who had jumped his nephew, Baby Lane Orlando Anderson, a few hours prior. So when they spotted him on the Vegas Strip, it was a chance for their get back. He stated, Keefe-D, that his nephew, Orlando Anderson, was the trigger man. Now, charges has never been brought up on anyone involving this murder because everyone other than Keefe-D is dead. So I guess, to me, that's why he hasn't been charged with anything, because his confession led to, I'm thinking, solving the case. But I guess it was never officially solved. So new actions are being taken, and how far is it going to go? I don't know. But also, it seems that Puffy is involved in this somehow. And Keefe-D, a known snitch, if he's really brought up on charges for this murder, is he willing to snitch against Puffy? I know he's worn a wire trying to get Puffy to make some statements before, but this can get very interesting. I've compiled a few clips to bring you guys to speed as to what happened here, and everybody involved are close to the source and have been telling their stories for years. So you've probably seen this if you are a legitimate Tupac fan, but if not, it's very interesting. And I think the clips I've compiled tells you exactly what happened from start to finish. I'll play these clips for you, and I'll see you at the end to give you my commentary.
Breaking in just the last hour, we are learning that Las Vegas police have searched a home in connection to the murder of Tupac, a murder that's gone unsolved for nearly 30 years. He died, remember, at the age of 25 after being shot in a drive-by in Vegas. You're looking at some of that old footage here. I don't have to tell you that Tupac Shakur, mega huge rap star. A short but legendary career. He sold tens of millions of records worldwide, most of that coming after his death. There has never been an arrest in the case, and police say this new search now, just the last 24 hours in Vegas, is part of an investigation even all these years later into his death.
So when we sat down with Keefe-D, myself, the FBI, Keefe-D's lawyer, we sat down under what's known as a proffer agreement, and he divulged all of the details about what took place in Las Vegas the night Tupac was shot. At that point in time, we're just going through the investigative, kind of investigative process until I retired, and I came to the realization that these crimes, the public is never going to know what we did in this investigation and the information that we attained. And so I took it upon myself to say, listen, and I went and met with Keefe-D before I did it, by the way. He knew that I was releasing the information. I went to his house, we sat in my truck, and I said, here's the deal. You're never going to probably get prosecuted on this, but I'm going to expose what you did. And I said, I'm just letting you know ahead of time. I'm writing a book, and I'm going to tell the story. And listen, you got a huge break on the dope case that we built against you, which was 25 to life. You're walking away on a murder. So if the punishment for you is that the public knows the truth about what you did, well, then that's just the fucking way it's going to be. I'm not sorry I did it. You know, he's who he is. I told him what I was going to do. His response was, oh, fuck it then. I'm a gangster. I'll handle that shit. That's exactly what he told me. And said, okay, well, that's your decision. That's your life. That's you. Go do you. I'm telling the world what the fuck happened because this story is more important than you. In fact, I think this story is more important than your life.
By the time they all met up, when Trayvon comes over and say, hey, there's Baby Lane, the dude that tried to take my chain, tried to take my chain. Everybody keep that, you gotta get that cleared up. Trayvon didn't lose his chain. Trayvon, you know, came over there and said to his big homies, which is Neckbone, Buntry.
So he didn't tell
Shook.
Pac.
He
just said it out in the open.
Said it out in the open. Pop. Now we talked about earlier in the interview, being who he been. You either ride with me or you not with me. Takes off.
Didn't say nothing to nobody.
Takes off. Ain't said nothing. And runs over there towards the guy. And started literally, hit him and he falls down. The homies doing what they supposed to do. Takes off behind him. Run and then they, stump him out.
What? They're like, yeah, they just jumped on your nephew. They asked us, did we need any help? Like, no, we cool. We met up with nephew. And like them dudes just jumped on me and shit.
So you guys meet up with Zip.
Yeah.
And this is where he gives you gives you a gun.
Nah, I ain't gonna say that, but
That's what it says in the book.
all week they've been advertising that they giving a concert at the 662 Club. So we go up there to the 662 Club, wait about an hour. They didn't ever show up or nothing like that. So we was on our way home, stopped and got some liquor. Boom. We get to Flamingo and Vegas Boulevard for to make that left. And here we see this dude, skinny man, Tupac. Yeah, he was like, Tupac. He was hanging all out the window like he was in a parade. Damn, we like, there you go. And the U-turn. After that, boom, made that right. It was over.
When you guys pulled up, you seen Suge. You looked Suge in his eyes?
Yeah.
What did you feel at that time?
None.
You seen the first shot hit Suge?
Yeah.
What did you think when you seen it hit Suge?
I thought he was a goner.
So you had a proffer deal. So that means whatever you say during that day was like nothing could ever be used against you.
Exactly.
During that day.
Yeah.
How come you didn't ask for like complete immunity?
Did.
They wouldn't give it to you?
I did. I'm sitting here.
Well, the proffer deal is only good for
What
that
you said
day.
that? No. Man, that's why I'm still sitting here.
Can you tell me the differences in a proffer agreement, immunity, and Queen for a Day?
Sure. Well, Queen for a Day and a proffer are essentially the same thing. Queen for a Day is just kind of like off-the-cuff slang for a proffer agreement. A proffer agreement is not immunity. People get this confused. There's no immunity in a proffer agreement. All a proffer agreement is that information that you provide that is self-incriminating cannot be used against you. We won't use your information against you. We'll use your information to prosecute other people. And if other people provide information that we can use against you, we most certainly will. We just won't use your own self-incriminating statements against you. That's a proffer agreement.
Keefe-D. Now you heard all the great things everybody said about Von Zip, Big Zip, the dude from New York, the Connect, and all of that. I agree, all the accounts I hear about Von Zip is a good dude. this is what y'all forgot Keefe-D did. Keefe-D got on the airplane with 3 cops that was on the task force that Greg Kadings and them had.
So Von Zip had a club out there called the Zip Code in Harlem. And we wanted to reunite Keefe-D and Zip with the hopes of Keefe-D being able to elicit self-incriminating statements from Zip. So we took him out there, tried to get them to reunite, hoping that Zip and Keefe-D will sit down and have a conversation. Of course, Keefe-D would have been wearing a body recorder, and we would have, had him discuss the gun that Zip gave him in Las Vegas that was used to kill Tupac. We would have had them discuss the relationship with Puffy. We would have had them discuss any transactions of funds that were used as a result of the solicitation for Tupac's murder. So those were the things that we were hoping to accomplish by utilizing Keefe-D as an informant.
So Keefe wanted to go straight to Puffy and try to get, as in his words, get it from the horse's mouth, straight from the horse's mouth. LAPD said no, because this is 12 years later. No, Puffy's too smart for that. He's not going to just take a meeting from you this time, 12 years later, under all of this heat and pressure you've been under. But let's try to go and meet with Von Zip. Because Keefe telling him D-Mac gave the money to Zip. Zip just never turned over the money. Now this is debatable, whether it was for $500,000 or $1 million. I don't know. But Puffy did pay, according to D-Mac. They say Zip and Keefe hugged each other like they long-lost brothers. Glad to see each other and everything. So Keefe's trying to get Von Zip to tell. He asked him, hey, man, I never got that money with, that D-Mac guy, for the hit on Pac and Suge. I've never been paid. Zip went Scooby-Dooby-Doo on him, I guess. Didn't want to talk about it, which was a smart move on his part, because Keefe-D is wired for sound.
And I think he smelled a rat. I think he probably understood, what's this guy showing up out of nowhere? Why does he want to talk about this old situation? So I think, Zip was from the streets, and he'd probably been around enough informants in his life to give him a little bit of consternation about, sitting down and having a heart-to-heart with Keefe-D.
Tupac getting killed in Vegas. I heard a rumor that it was a hit put on Tupac and that Von Zip, he got paid $1 million. You know about that, yo? Because I do remember you speaking on it before.
Brother, there were rumors with the Crips was supposed to be paid $1 million, this, that, and the third. I don't know nothing about Puff giving anybody $1 million, right, to hit Tupac or kill anybody like that. I don't know none of that shit. But one day we was on the block. After all the rumors they was talking about Zip this, that, and they're supposed to got some money and everything like that. Zip came to 112th Street and he was showing my man one of his new cars. And he said, I just sold Black Ground Records. Or I just got $1 million for Black Ground Records. And he showed me and my man a check for $1 million. He had in his back right pocket. He said, yo, I just showed Black Ground Records. Jimmy Henchman and what's his name? What's Aaliyah uncle name? It escapes me right now. But Aaliyah uncle gave him $1 million and he said it was for Black Ground Records. So I was like, when did Zip get a record company? Me and my man, when he left, we said, yo, when did Zip get a record company? And that's the $1 million check we saw.
So, there you have it. Keep in mind, nothing that I've presented to you is a secret. These things have been available for years. The police, FBI have known about these people going on these platforms recounting the story. They've known about this for years. So I'm interested as to why is it that they are taking action now? What do they have or what are they looking for? Is Keefe-D going to be charged for this? Keefe-D, as you've heard, a known rat, has worn wires attempting to get information from people. Von Zip, even Puffy. Would he be willing to give a statement that could get Puffy indicted? We know he's capable of doing so. He's done it already. But do people like Puffy ever face charges for their actions? I don't think so. These rich and powerful people usually pay their way out of trouble. I think he's too rich to fail. My personal opinion. But I'm interested to see where this goes. What do you guys think? Are they going to actually charge this guy with this crime? Now, as you've heard, a proffer agreement is only to protect you against your statement that day, as you heard Greg Kading say. But Keefe-D has been on many other platforms telling the story. He even wrote a book. So is that information going to be used against them? And if so, why so many years later after he started talking? I'll be waiting to see, just as I'm sure you'll be waiting to see. Leave your comments in the comment section. Be sure to leave a like to help propel these videos. And thank you for tuning in. Catch you on the next one.